Hello, everyone, and welcome to Unleashed with Kimberly. I'm your host, Kimberly Anderson, and we are continuing our conversation with the incredible ladies from my Unleash Your Inner Goddess interview series, and I am super excited to introduce to you Caprice Del Cerro. Did I say that right? Welcome first. Hey!
Yes, you did. Everybody stumbles about it. Del Cerro. Yes.
Okay, good. I was like, did I just say that right? So I love what you do, and I love your whole the way you approach business. But first, share with us what it is that you do.
Yeah, so I am a business mentor for women in business. So generally, you 0 to 3 years you've been in business. I'm helping you build that solid foundation because I'm sure all of you, we've all been there. And you start from point M, and you really need to start from point A. You don't need the pretty website. So I'm helping you to really get that solid foundation so you can build your profitable business in a way that's not overwhelming and it's hands-on, which is very different than sometimes other business mentors or coaches do. So we actually physically get it done while we work together. So those steps that I'm telling you, we're doing it and you're moving it forward. So it's all about just building your dream the right way.
I love it. Yeah. And in the series that we spoke before, you talked about your hand holding, in a sense. You're really there helping people get to that next step.
Yes. So I know we've all been part of those courses, taking course after course after course, and you're left with that missing, golden piece of nugget that you need, or you just don't know how to implement it. Everyone's always frazzled or just overwhelmed or whatever it is. So we're going to take bite-sized pieces when you work with me because you can't do it all. You need to really, again, take it back to the beginning. I think a lot of times we get stuck because we just don't know really we kind of know what we're searching for, but yet we really don't, or we just don't know how to implement that the right way. So the hand holding comes in again with me actually doing it with you. So if we need to go get you an EIN number, if I need to get you some contracts, if we need to just lay it all out so you can really figure out what you want to do, we're going to do that. So you're going to have a full plan. I always say we're going to walk you down the yellow brick road to success. And we're going to get you there the right way so you can continue to learn what you need to do, really put it in a better perspective and get it, like really understand it and know why you're taking those steps and why they're necessary to have your business be profitable, to protect yourself, to protect your business entity and so forth. So there's so many moving parts and pieces that people don't talk about. So I'm going to be talking about those and working those with you and doing them with you.
Wow, I love it. I think that's such a great opportunity that you offer, because you're right. Most people are doing just courses and you're in there all by yourself, and you can get really stuck and not have the capacity to move forward because you don't know which way to move.
Yes, so, we've all been there.
Oh yeah, we have. But that's what I love that about you and how you work with people, because you're right there helping them along.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love being on that journey with you too. Like I get so sparked when I get to be on somebody's journey, because first of all, it's an honor that they've allowed me to trust them, or I'm sorry, to trust me to bring me on their journey. But then to just get all these great new ideas all the time and watch them ignite and be like, oh my God, that's so brilliant. Yes, you have to do this. And why aren't you doing it and doing it this way? And it's just about putting it all in perspective for you, because again, you get lost, you get overwhelmed, you get very confused, and it's all the things that nobody's ever told you about running a business and how to move it forward.
Yeah, for sure. What would you say is the first thing that you typically look at or help somebody with?
So typically we go over what their actual idea is, or what they think their idea is, and where they see it progressing, or how they want it to progress, and kind of what steps they've been taking. And even if you haven't taken those steps, then let's talk about them. So it's really bringing it back to the basics, and it's getting you to really break down the parts and pieces so you fully understand why you're going this route, and maybe it's not the right route to take, and what's the better path to take. So it's back to basics, honestly.
And that's one thing I think people don't really realize they need to do when they get stuck. It's okay, where was I going with this? It is about your why, but you want to step back and go, okay, what are the next pieces to go? Not necessarily the how, because the how shows up, but steps to get there.
Absolutely. And that's what we're missing. Totally missing the steps, totally missing the understanding. Like, you might still have these steps, but again, maybe I shouldn't be doing it now, or maybe you should be doing it now, but you think you should be doing it later, or vice versa. It's getting that grasp on it. And again, nobody tells us, why I need this or where I'm going with it. And until you understand that, and you understand why, if you've heard it before, people keep throwing that at you again, like why you don't need a pretty website in the beginning, why you don't have to figure out your logos in the beginning, because you probably just really don't know your brand, or it's changing. Because, in the beginning of any business, and even throughout your business, the evolution of that changes. I mean, how many large companies do you know have changed their brand message, have changed their logos, have changed their colors? So all those, everything that everyone says that we should do, or you think that you should be doing because they want to get you into those courses or to do those things, I have to kind of deprogram people a little bit, and to say it's okay, like you don't need it, and I'm going to tell you why, and you just have to trust me.
It's such a good point, because the evolution of your business changes as well and so does your logo. So if whatever you start out with, because you've taken that course or whatever, and they're great courses.
Absolutely.
But when you're taking that at the very beginning of your business, you're going to evolve in how you want to do business and how your business, is, and therefore it keeps changing.
Yeah.
And so, you want to be able to not have to focus on those particular things, so you can really just focus on what it is about your business, what it is about you, and your brand will evolve from that.
Absolutely. You bring up a very good point. Like you say, when you're in those courses and you've been told, or we think we should mirror those courses exactly how that person has done it, and all of a sudden there's just a bunch of mini-me's of whatever you took, of whoever's running that course. But you have to figure out how to have your own voice, your own message, the way that you're talking to people, the way that you want people to resonate with you and keep connecting with you. So that's a very good point in courses. We have to realize we've taken the information for what it's worth and how it can help you, but also stay true to you. Do it the way you want to do it. Do it the way that you think it's going to help somebody, and how your business is going to progress that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's all those little steps. And that's one thing that I love about you, is you're like, okay, slow down.
Yeah.
Let's take it step by step. Yeah. And it's really important. I think my brand's gone through, I don't even know how many different changes, because it evolves. And so, if you look at it, it's good to evolve, obviously. Absolutely. But there's a lot of time, energy, and money that was spent creating each of them. So if you actually just start your business and really start moving through it, that's when you really get a solid foundation of what your brand is and what your logo should be.
Absolutely. Colors, logos, message. I mean, how many times do you change a tagline, a message line? Because your customers, who you think you're reaching out to, who you think your clients, your customers are in the beginning, they change, they evolve, because now even the people that you may have started with, their evolution has not gone further, and you want to continue to help them. So, right. or develop a product for them, whatever it may be. So they're coming through that evolution with you, and your conversation is going to change. Your message is going to change.
Yep, absolutely. Because you're up leveling your clients.
Yeah.
And just kind of it's just this forward progression.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so great to, like you said, evolution is a huge thing, and it's totally great in your business and you as an individual. So when you're getting locked in things, and I really think that people get locked in these things because it's things that they think they can do, or it's the easier things that we think we can do. So it's like, oh, I feel like I've done something now. I've created this logo in my business. I've created this brand message, or these colors were great. And now you think you've done something. But yeah, you're still just as confused as when you first started.
Right. I think we get lost too on the busy work.
Yes.
Not the income producing work, but the busy work. It's the logos. It's the color of the logo. It's, you're constantly changing something on your website you're trying to design all on your own. And
right.
It's it's all these different pieces.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. We are all stuck on the busy work. You're absolutely right. Again, because we think we're doing something impactful in our business, and it is, It's just not the right time to do it.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So I want to talk about your show that you were doing, because I just love the name of it. So you share about that.
So I was doing I don't even know what to call it. It's not really a vlog or anything like that. So I would do videos where I interview women such as yourself, because you were nice enough to, sit with me. It's called One Hell of a Conversation. Thank you. So One Hell of a Conversation is just women sharing their stories in a way, whatever you want to share. It could be how you got to your business. It could be, anything that's happened in your life, what made you stronger, weaker, vulnerable, not vulnerable, whatever anybody is comfortable talking. As you know, I really don't go into it with any questions. I just ask, what are you up to? What are you doing? And the conversation just flows from there. And I've been amazed and honored by the openness and the vulnerability that people have felt comfortable enough to share with me on these. And to put that out there. So I am behind with getting them out, everybody. I do apologize, but they're out there, and so they will continue to come out. I had, probably almost 50 women that participated in it. And these are women from all over the world. So I've been able to connect with women from, I think, just about every continent, and meet them and learn about them, and realize that even though we're from so far away or so very close, we think that culturally we're different, or we may have been educated differently, but we're so very much the same. We all feel and think the same way. We're all hoping for the same types of dreams, and how they want to come to us. And so, oh God, it's been such a great experience. It's so much fun, and I hope to continue it after I kind of calm down the rest of my business going on. But it's definitely, they're fun conversations. And again, just the people that I've met, you guys have been outstanding.
It's awesome. That's why I started my series, the Unleash Your Inner Goddess series, is because of the same thing. Hearing other women's stories, their struggles, their obstacles, and how they overcame them really helps us go, oh my gosh, I'm not alone. And I can do it. They can do it. They just gave me a little tip or tool how they move through it. Maybe I can use that one. Or it helps you really find ways that you can get over whatever it is you're going through, whether you're stuck or obstacles, beliefs, whatever it is, and really step into your power. And I love that you did that, because the more women can share about their stories and their struggles and their successes, the more we can help each other succeed.
Absolutely. I'm a firm believer that you never know who you're helping. And just by, like you said, hearing that story, someone's watching it and hearing it and resonating with it, you could completely change their life. And you won't ever, and you may never know it. And that's okay. But just the fact that, that you guys are willing to share the stories, and we put them out there and people can connect with them and keep moving on. It's huge. It's huge.
Yeah. It really is. So, and I love the name of it that you came up with, One Hell of a Conversation. How did you come up with that? It's so awesome.
Excuse me. So I am addicted, I think, to the word hell of a, because before I even started that, I was going to do a boutique called Hell of a Boutique, I think it was. And I don't know, the word is very strong to me. I saw it somewhere in a book, and it just sticks out. And you can kind of put anything with it, right? Like, one hell of a conversation, one hell of a this, or, I have someone called me hell of a coach the other day. I'm like, oh, great, another branding thing. I have a Facebook page called Hell of a Crowd. So it's, I don't know. It was strong to me, yet fun and energetic. And I think connected easily with people.
It does. And it's fun to say, and everybody uses the term, so I love it. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. It's not anything. It's fun.
Yeah. Well, and it's a great branding piece. If you want to go back to that, I mean, it's going back to the words and the catchphrases and all of that. That's catchy, really. And that is very catchy.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, I even have a hell of a planner. I created a planner. So I have a hell of a planner. I can't get away from it. I just keep, like you said, I kind of just branded it, and it goes with everything. So I took it and ran with it.
It does. I love it. But that's such a great tip, though, to realize that in your business. And one of the things that you're experiencing, and then you can share with your clients, is you find what that is, whatever that is for you. And it literally landed in your lap and you can use it on everything.
Yes, you're right. Yeah,
and
it's one of those things that you find that resonation with you, whatever empowers you or makes you feel warm and fuzzy about it, makes you smile. And yeah, it did. And it just pops in your head at the strangest moments.
It does. And you're like, what in the world? But it works. And now you're able to do all these different things. I mean, you've got your show, you've got your planner, which I think is so cool. And you're just you're creating all these different pieces for it. And it blends beautifully together.
Yeah, it's been fun. And I don't even think about it. And then the people that know me is like, hell of this. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I should be using that, shouldn't I?
Yeah. I mean, but what I like about that too is that you're, going back to the business piece of it, what an incredible branding piece. And it doesn't have to be complicated. It can be really, really simple, and have that, energy and catchiness to it. And you can turn around and be like, woo, you're literally able to filter everything through that brand.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Totally goes back to what we were just talking about.
Yep. And again, and that didn't pop up right away. That was way later into my business idea and my business growth. Again, it was with things that I wanted to do. I didn't have a name for anything back then, or they were just ideas. And, when I was thinking about doing my show and talking with women, didn't even pop in my head. Then it just finally did. So again, but that was not in the beginning phases of my business whatsoever.
Yeah. And I like that we're talking about this because, again, it goes to, it's not about the logo. It's not about the website. It's not about that stuff. It's really figuring out what it is you're doing, who you want to talk to, who are your clients, and starting that. And it'll evolve. I mean, there's probably have 1,000 different scenarios, but you can start with working with maybe businesses that are just beginning and then realize, okay, no, my better client is not better, but my ideal client is ones that have been in business for over 10 years. I mean, that's a big difference in who your audience is and who your client is. Absolutely. And so as you start working in your business, that reveals itself. Mm-hmm. And then you're able to go, that's a hell of a good idea.
That's right. Hell of a good idea. You're absolutely right. And you bring up great points. It's that, like we were talking about earlier, it's the evolution of your business. And sometimes you just need to start at different levels too, to get your own bearings down. Has nothing that you're not starting where you want to be in your business, but everybody has a starting point and you keep moving up. So as you progress, your clients will progress, like you say. So you don't have to start where you think you want to be at the end, because Rome wasn't built in a day either. And you just have to take those in the right steps though, but you have to do it the right way, or else it's gonna be a continual frustration for you and not get you to where you want to be. So you have to be open to that. And I think a lot of people are not open to it. I've had discussions with that, and you try to open their mind, but they're just not ready for it yet.
Yeah. The analogy just came to my mind, like, how do you eat, and how does one person eat an entire large pizza, one bite at a time?
Great point.
It's not, you just cram the whole thing in.
I wrote an article or a piece about, like, how do you build a house? I gotta dig out, first of all, I need an idea of what I want my house to look like. And then I gotta, find a place to put it. Then I gotta build my land and then pour a foundation, and then there's walls, and what is this gonna look like? So, it takes time to do it, and that's okay. And that's what people have to realize.
Yeah. I mean, we could literally, as we're talking, I'm thinking, God, there's like analogies in everyday life. There's like a zillion of them that we could go through, even, baking a cake, making banana bread. You want this end result. How do you get there?
Right.
Follow the recipe, eggs, flour, this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah.
And then you stick it in the oven and it cooks. So it's about, and that's one thing, if you realize the business is very similar to all of those analogies we just said. Yeah. It's those piece by piece by piece, and not focusing on that busy work.
Absolutely. And it's about asking for help. You'd be amazed at how many people can really help you. And we just think that they either won't, or they're too far in their business, so they're a bit intimidated by them. But I mean, everybody that I've met, once you ask that question, everybody is willing to hop in. They're not all about asking for money and funds and, coaching packages and whatnot. If you just kind of need that nugget or that little push to help, you'd be amazed. Just ask those questions. But you got to find the right place too. You can't be looking, in building homes if I'm, want to, make a dress type of thing. So you have to find the right place to hang out too, to kind of get you. But again, you have to be open. Like, you have to not shut down. You have to be open to, whatever anybody's saying, and take it for what it's worth, for how it resonates with you or doesn't resonate with you. But you do have to be open to allowing for some of that conversation to happen.
Absolutely. And that's such an important point too, because we get so, focused, blinders on, and then you become rigid in what you think needs to happen. And then you're missing tons of opportunity.
Yes. Yeah. Or you get locked in that one area, like you said, that you think you should be in, but maybe that's really not where your focus should be at all. Like, you can still do what your passion is, but where you're headed those aren't your places or people that you need to be in.
Yeah. There was one of the other ladies that was on the show, and also at the Goddess Summit, she has a great story about just that. Her client was a real estate agent, and she was felt like she was running all over the place. And I'm probably going to botch some of this story, but she was just, all she wanted to do was work with new home buyers. And she was like, but my whole office is going to make fun of me because nobody likes to work with new home buyers in this, and blah, 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 blah. And she's like, well, go do what makes you happy. That's your passion. And then you can trade with the other people in your office. Like, you send me all your new home buyers and I'll send you everybody else. And she made more money because she realized and figured out where her passion was, her specific client that she wanted to help, and a way to trade within her office. If she got in referrals or whatnot, she passed those along, and then she made more money because of it.
Yes. Isn't it amazing? So again, not following what the cookie cutter way is,
Mm-hmm.
but doing it what makes sense to where your skills and your loveliness and, where your passion lies.
Yeah, it really definitely changes the trajectory of your business.
Yes.
Because, in that scenario, I don't know that she was necessarily struggling, but she's doing way better now. Her business took off.
Well, she was probably working with the other ones, like you had said, those clients that she wouldn't, because she was afraid of what the other real estate agents would say. And, just, you have to be you. That is just that you have to be you and follow it, because there's a reason why you have that passion. You saw it somewhere and you knew you could make that difference. Yeah. So go make that difference, because I'm sure those home buyers too were very appreciative of whatever her methodology was. Absolutely. Versus the ones that hated the new home buyers.
Right. Yeah.
That's an awesome story. I love that.
I did too. I just thought that was such a great story, because there's so many different pieces to that story that you're like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. And then it shows her passion, and her business exploded, and all these things. So yeah, it was awesome. I just thought that was a really great story. So I want to go back to your hell of a planner that you made. That's so awesome. What is it that why did you decide to create a planner? First of all, let's start there.
Oh, because I was tired of all the other ones on the market that didn't do anything. I don't know if you were like a planner hog like me, but how many have you bought? I have bought hundreds and probably spent thousands of dollars on planners. And then I finally said, forget this. I know design software. I'm just going to make my own. I'm going to put all the parts and pieces in it that I want to put into it, and, add business elements that aren't in a lot of the planners. And it's great if you want to do your affirmations and all that stuff, but I wanted some concrete stuff in there, not the finances necessarily, but in a way that I could understand, what I needed to sell, or, how many prices or pieces that I wanted to go down. And so I put all those elements in that I wanted, or that other women had told me that they were looking for too. And, because I asked around. So I have it where you have your month view. I have it where you could, time blocking was a big thing. That's hard to find in a lot of them. Or my thing, they were these little boxes. Like, I can't write in a line this small. Like, I need a page. So I made a page and I made it where you could, break down tasks. So a lot of times we don't break down our tasks. Like, okay, from this time to this time, I'm going to do 100 things. Well, we know that's just not realistic. So
Right.
I made it a form where you can make it realistic for yourself, and some tips and tricks in there of how to do that. So you have your task list, you have your regular calendar, you have how you can, figure out if I wanted to make $100,000 this year, what do I need to do each month, each quarter, each day in order to achieve my goals? And it's very simple to do, kind of a step process. So it was all the little parts and pieces that weren't in the ones that I wanted. There was too small size, so I put it all together for myself and did it. And it's out on Etsy. It's called The Ultimate Business Planner for Women, one hell of a planner. So it's a printable, so you can print it. And then the one thing I did about the printable too is because, like, how many times do you mess that page up? And you want to do it again, but your planner doesn't have that page. You're like, darn it. So you can print galore, how many ever you want that way too. And take it to your local Office Depot or Kinko's. I did my own, and I got some fun stuff at Michael's and some cool, made it really cool that way. Laminate your covers. There's great not affirmations, but like, I guess they are kind of just strong, powerful messages in there to keep you going each month too. And so, yeah, just another thing. It wasn't out there. I wanted it, so I created it.
I love that. There's so many things to that I love. You created it because it wasn't out there. I mean, that just shows the power of what you can do. And I love it. I think that's it's such a good testament to, if it's not out there, you can create it.
Right. Absolutely.
And you took all the things that you wanted and needed out of a planner and you created into one. And now you're offering it out to others. What an awesome thing.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. And so far, the women who are using it seem to really like it because, I got their input too. So, whoever's using it wants more input. It'll be updated for 2021. And
that's very cool. So you create this planner. You obviously love and live by them. Why do you think it's so important to have one in business?
Well, I mean, our days are so busy too. And I think that's where I was struggling a lot of times. I'm not one. I mean, I was using electronic for a little bit, like my phone. That was just really for more of my family stuff. Like, I got to take the kids here. I have to do the doctor's appointment, that type of thing. But when it really came down to, for myself, for business, I needed to take all this information out of my brain and put it somewhere. So like, I have a brain dump page, where you're just going to put everything down on that, just get it out of your mind. So first of all, you don't forget about it, but then you can kind of write through it, analyze it. It was a place for me to organize my thoughts in a way that I wanted to organize them, that wasn't so frilly, frou-frou, but more on, not so businessy. It's not like you're going to go you go into some corporate job by any means, but it was just a place to put my thoughts down and get organized. And I found, for me, the time blocking is a big thing. Like, I have to really say, okay, from this time to this time, I got to give myself time to, let's say, do a Facebook post or something. Because when we don't write it down, we're not going to commit to it, at least for myself. And I know a lot of people will attest to this too. If you don't start doing this, you're not getting the things done that you want to. And sometimes, do I overload it? Yes, I will admit I overload my day and I do not get everything done. But I can at least then know what I need to take to the next day, because these were my important tasks that I wanted to do. So it allows me to, again, prioritize my day, prioritize my business and what I need to get done. So what's the most important? Obviously, dump those on your day. And you have to add things in, like, I got to take a shower. I'm going to have lunch. I got to let the dogs out, or I'm going to feed the dogs. All that stuff needs to be on your time. And you have to put it in, because we forget, like, I got to go to the grocery store, and we don't put that in, but that's taking a block of time. So again, it was allowing me to put my business, my personal life all in one spot and get all the information out that I needed to, so I can move forward, or kind of put the pieces together for myself, organize my life. I mean, am I organized to the cows come home because I have this planner? Absolutely not. I would be the biggest liar if I said that, but it allows me a space to do that for myself when I need to do it and when I want to do it.
You brought up so many good points. One of the things I wanted to touch on is about that brain dump, or even just writing down the grocery store, because what I call it an energy leak. And when you write it down, you no longer have to sit there and perseverate over it. You're like, okay, it's down. I know I need to do it. I have a time block for it, or however that works with you. But you don't have to think about it. It's like when you're going, the grocery store, perfect example. That's constantly running in the back of your mind. It's like that, and that back program that won't stop running. And it's draining your mind energy. It's draining energy, and you don't even realize it. It's like mind clutter.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you write it down and you break it down, you're no longer having to think about it. It's there. You're good. Okay, this is when I'm going to do it. That really, really does help people.
It's a huge relief. And I don't think people do realize it, like you said, when you because it is constantly moving, and it almost hurts sometimes. Like, you have so much in there and you're trying to what do I do with this? It does really, it's a huge release. It's like that monkey off your shoulder. Like, all of a sudden, you told somebody the truth or something, you just, let it all out and you put it down. Yeah. At least for me, it's that way. And I think if a lot of people try it, if you haven't done it before, I say, give it a try. Just, put all those ideas out. And it doesn't mean that you have to do them. Right. It just means that that's something you have your idea for. But there are just days where sometimes I'm just and whether it's the grocery list, because they're all going together in the same form. If I have to do it, I just, just throw it on that piece of paper and have it come out.
I love it. And you call it an energy, brain dump. And I love that, because we do have so much going on in our minds. And at the very least, if you don't have a planner that has the space, which a lot of them don't, to just get it all out, whatever it is, journal. That's the next best thing, or equally as amazing and important, to just journal, because then it's no longer just sitting in your mind. Great ideas come from that. Relaxation comes from that. There's a lot of things that are really great about journaling.
Yeah, I agree. It is just letting your frustrations out, or just whatever's building up. It's hard to explain it, isn't it? But it is this release, and it's God, it does. It takes the tension off for some reason. It just allows that it's been said or been put there, and it's all I can say. It's a release. It really is.
Yeah, because I think oftentimes people bottle up, and we, especially men, they learn to stuff it down, women do too, actually. We stuff things down because we'll deal with it later, because we don't have time for us right now. It's everybody else that we have to do, right? Yeah. So allowing yourself to get out everything, whether it's good, bad, don't worry about how your writing looks, or if you're typing it, spelling, just get it out. And it is a huge release. And I love that you said that, because it really it opens up space for you. Mentally, emotionally, even physically, because all that stress causes physical ailments. So it really helps you to just release it. And then you can kind of go, okay, actually, if you journaled first and then go, okay, now what can I put in my planner? You'd be really on it.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there are days that I'll just sit there and I'm like, what's going on? And I'm like, where's my piece of paper? I just need a brain dump. I just need to throw it all out. Too much is going on. And and like you said, it frees up that space to, like I said, because it's gone, and I don't necessarily do anything with it. I'll put it aside, but it needs to come out. Yeah.
Not only that, but if you're trying to remember something too, that actually pulls a lot of energy and brain power, and it keeps you from fully being present and focused on what it is you need to be present and focused on. Yeah. So if you have written it down in, I love that you're calling it a brain dump. That's hysterical. And you do that, it's there. You don't have to worry about trying to remember it. It's there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What a great tip to help people in their business. I think that's really awesome.
Yeah, I don't think many people do it, or it's being mentioned maybe a little bit more now, but it is important, and because there's so much going on in your mind.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And there's so many planners out there. You can pick really which one works for you. Like I said, I love that none of them fit for what you wanted, so you created it. So for another little tidbit here, if there's something out there that doesn't work for you, make it.
Change it.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. You just want, those big desktop planner or calendars. I used to love those, man, because the boxes were bigger. You could write in them,
Yeah, the big pallets or whatever, the big, I forget what they call them. I know what you mean.
Yeah, I think they're called desktop calendars, and then, there's space to doodle on the side because they're so big.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Find what works for you, and it really, really helps you not have to focus on that, so you can focus on what really needs to happen, and you're not having all these energy leaks.
Right. Absolutely.
That brain dump. I love it. I love it. Do the brain dump so you don't have to worry about it. When do you find for you is the best time to do that? Do you do it every morning? How does that work for you?
For me, it kind of depends what's going on in the day. I think most of the time my mornings are usually where everything's shifting in my head. So that's when I'll feel the most angst or anxiety towards it. And then that's when I'll grab a piece of paper. And I think because I'm trying to figure out what I want to accomplish either that day or that week or wherever I'm at. And so I will tend to do it in the mornings.
You just reminded me something. A while back ago, I talked about Sundays. So we all have this idea work week starts Monday because that's typically when we go back to work, right? Well, if you look at a calendars start on a Sunday. And you're like, what? But if you look at your calendar starts on a Sunday. And so if you look at starting your week on a Sunday, where you are most likely spending time with your family, relaxing, enjoying the day, what a great way to start your week.
Mm-hmm.
And then you roll into Monday. Well, Monday then becomes day 2 of the week, not day 1. And so it really shifts your perspective and how your week goes forward. So you're starting your week happy, relaxed, and not all,
Right. Well, and another trick sometimes they'll say too, it'll work too every night. Like if you just don't want to plan out your whole week. So like tonight, if I was to go and I didn't write down what I wanted to do tomorrow on my Wednesday, I would go ahead and tonight at the end of my night, I would figure out what I want to do tomorrow. So you can write all that out the night before. So just the same concept. So I'm not going into it so rushed, crazy,
Right.
not knowing because maybe my whole week shifted for what I wanted to do. And you can do that as well and take it day by day and write it out the night before and move it forward that way too.
I love that. Not only that, but you can keep it really, just know that you have opportunity. Like it can change, and being flexible in that. It's like a guideline. Like these are the things that are important priorities. I need to get them done, but really it's just a guide. And if you don't get them done, like you said earlier, just put it on the next day. It's okay. You don't have to pull your hair out and freak out and stress that you didn't get it done, because you'll still get it done.
Absolutely important. Everybody has to realize that, because again, and I'm guilty of it, and I'm sure you probably are too, Kimberly, because you have, all of our children and so forth. We put too much on the day because we think we're going to get it done. I mean, we are super women.
Yes,
but let's be realistic. Something takes longer than we anticipated. And even if we are giving that buffer of time, somebody called you on the phone, or I got this email that I just really have to answer because I can't put it aside, whatever it might be. So just that does happen, and you do have to give yourself that leeway. And again, it's okay. Don't beat yourself up about it, because it will be there tomorrow. It really will be.
Just like if you don't do the dishes, guess what? They're going to still be there. There's no magic.
You don't clean your house that much either, right? So the house cleaning kind of sits a little bit longer too than it used to.
Yeah, but it's okay. And it's okay even to have just this keeps coming up. I don't know why. Well, I guess I know why, because it's so important. But even taking the day off.
Yes.
Self-care, self-day. It's all about you. Sit on the couch in your PJs and binge watch Netflix. By all means do it. It's what you need in that moment, and to have it guilt-free.
Yes. I have learned for the most part, I will still, even though I'm in my own business, I will still kind of do my Monday through Friday type corporate week. And I definitely, I might pop on for a few things for the weekend, but a lot of times I do not. So that's my time in my mind. And I've allowed myself that. Again, if something kind of crazy comes up, I might address it, but you need to give yourself the self time, because things aren't going away.
Right.
nothing's going to stop. The rails aren't going to stop. Grocery stores, I mean, we went through whatever. The grocery stores are still open. Everything's still working. It will all be there when you're ready to address it.
Yeah, absolutely. And another great thing to do is taking that calendar and scheduling that time. Yeah. Even a break. I know a lot of us, I'm super guilty of this. You get so caught up and busy in what you're doing on your computer or phone calls or coaching or whatever it is, you don't eat. You're like, why am I starving? It's 4 o'clock. Oh, because you had coffee and that's it this morning, you know? So even scheduling that time to take a break, stretch, eat something, refresh, go outside, get some sun for 5 minutes, whatever it is, that totally changes the rest of your day and will help you be more focused and more present in what you're doing.
Yeah, I even write on my planner on my daily pages, my little tip is get up every 15 minutes because it will kind of reconnect your brain and just get you out of whatever funk you were in, but you come back a little bit more refreshed. And I, like you, I used to skip lunch. I don't do it anymore. I schedule my time for lunch. Like I need that break because I was getting too burnt out and I just can't do it anymore. I mean, I will take an hour. So leave me alone for an hour or, you know, whatever. It's at my own time. I don't feel so structured. And you have to because it gets to you really quickly.
And that's such a smart thing. I love that you're taking an hour. That's brilliant. And you know what? There's so much time. It's okay to do that.
Yes.
You know, you don't have to get everything done. It's part of having a very successful business is realizing the importance of taking care of yourself.
Right. Yeah. If we're not there, who's going to do it? Somebody else. You know, but then, you know, we want to help the people that we help, and you can't help them if your mind's not there or you're not fully focused, and you want to help them in the right way and you want to guide them in the right direction. And I don't want to sit there and tell you that you should be taking self-care and I'm not caring for myself. So we do have to look at our own guidelines too. You know, people are going to see that like, well, why are you worn out today? Oh, I didn't get enough sleep. And occasionally it happens, but if we're not trying to at least do it, you know, it's that thing like you tell your kids, well, don't do as I do as I say. That's not fair either. So we do kind of have to live up to our what we're telling others to do as well. But it is important, especially, and I think that's why a lot of us go into business too. Mm-hmm. Because we didn't have that self-care, that opportunity to self-care when you're working a traditional 9 to 5 or whatever job you have. And so now that you have an opportunity to do it, and even if it is restructuring your day, maybe. Because again, I sometimes get more invigorated in the evenings to work than I do during the day. And I don't know what it is, but some days I can just, you know, I'll crank out in the evening. So, you know, if I had to go do something during the day, that's cool. I'll crank out whatever during the night that I wanted to do. But again, it's a different mindset. It's a different way of doing things. And so just notice that for yourself and your personality and allow yourself to do it. Like you had said before, allow yourself those times and that however you're feeling, listen to yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And even if you are working a 9 to 5, it's important, and you get breaks, whether it's a 10, 15, and then your lunch hour, you can structure those breaks to where it's just, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Well, I'll just use refreshing. So it helps refresh you for the rest of the day. You know, maybe in the morning you do like a little stretch outside, you know, and then instead of trying to scarf down another coffee or get your coffee also, I totally agree with that. I'm a coffee drinker. But, you know, or I remember working 9 to 5, like you're scarfing down your lunch, you're trying to get all these different things in. And instead of that, just maybe plan a little bit more and maybe take some time for you. So you're not in that hurried rush to get back to work.
Well, that's just it, because a lot of people won't leave their desks.
Yeah.
Anymore, you know, especially if you're a salaried employee, they don't. They think because they're under deadlines, they're under this, and I learned you had to get away from that desk.
You are more productive when you take time for you.
Yeah.
And you take those little micro breaks during the day. Stand up, stretch, walk around. Use those times, those lunch breaks and just your 15, 10-minute breaks to just stretch. It will change your day. It will make you way more productive. So these are such great tips. I love it.
All the things that we were doing or that we were finally doing for ourselves that we just didn't do before.
Right? So true. It makes a big difference.
It really does. It really does.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, even it helps you sleep better at night. It helps you get up in the morning. It makes you feel accomplished.
Yes, that's a great word.
You know, because I think that's part of the problem is we're always we don't feel accomplished. There's this unsatisfactory feeling we go to bed with and we wake up with, and it kind of lingers during the day because there's so much self-care lack.
And the fact that we keep putting too much on ourselves to do. We think that we can do the 100 things, but I really can only do 10 in a day. Right. So we have to start doing that to ourselves too. Again, you can't put everything on that you want to do. I mean, you can have like a I want to do list, but be realistic about what you're really putting on your today list and what you're going to get done. Because again, you're going to fall into that non-accomplished category versus feeling accomplished.
Yeah, and that creates a total downward spiral of not being good enough and your self-worth and your value. And so it really it spider webs out.
Yes, it does. Quickly too.
It really does. So taking the time for yourself, allowing yourself to put the need to do list and the want to do list, maybe keeping those separate is really a key.
Mm-hmm. It definitely is. Yeah.
And then knowing that you can't do the 100 things in a day. You can do maybe 8, maybe 10, and being okay with it.
Exactly. That's the key. You have to be okay with it.
Yeah, I love that. I just think that's such a great point.
Yeah, true. It is true. Yeah, it's allowing it to happen, though. You just have to allow it to happen.
Allowing it is so key.
Yeah.
And being open and allowing to move forward. That's, yeah.
Totally.
So what is your favorite thing about your calendar or your planner that you created?
Oh, my favorite thing. It's probably, God, there's so many because I did put a lot of fun tips in there. So I have, I do like that I made it easy. So for myself, if I, again, wanted to figure out, if I want to make X amount of dollars, what I need to do and how to break that down very easily. My brain dump obviously is a big one. I do like my brain dump on there. And what's another favorite? I did create something on there, which is really neat. So let's say I have an idea that I wanted to do where it's either, I call it an impact goal or a business goal. So I have them in both ways. So your business goal is something that you want to do in your business. Like I want to create a course or something like that. And my impact goal is what I'm going to do in my business to be profitable. Like how am I going to create this profit through there? But anyway, I designed kind of a map. It goes through like, here's what I want to do. Well, what do I need to do to get there? What will happen if I do it this way? What won't happen? So all these different little steps that just take you through what should probably be going through your mind anyway, but you can kind of analyze it yourself, and it helps you, if you don't have that person to talk to, it's going to help you kind of work out the steps and the pieces that you need to do it in hopefully a more fundamental way than if you're just slapping this idea on a piece of paper with your, just a regular piece of paper, because it takes you through the journey.
That is awesome. Yeah. I love it because a lot of people are visual anyway. And so if you're writing it down, you're able to see all these steps and follow it through to go, okay, maybe that's where you can really see if you need to tweak something.
Absolutely. I did myself, and it goes like this. It's kind of like, it goes like a snake. So you're kind of going this way. And, if this happens, then what happens here? Who will be affected? How will they react? All those types of things. So I have those on both a business aspect and your impact aspect.
That is very cool. I love that. Yeah, I would say that would probably be one of my favorites too. And of course the brain dump, which is just awesome. And the fact that you created the thing, because again, you took what you needed out of everything and you created it.
Yep.
And that's such a great testament to just, if you don't have it, make it.
Make it.
Build it, design it, create it.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Even if you're not good at design work, there's plenty of other designers, whether it's through a Fiverr, depending on what your budget is, or if you need another budget, or just learn, Canva these days, or PicMonkey. we'll get you through that kind of stuff too. Or you can buy, templates even off of Etsy. So yeah, you can do the world any way that you want to do it. But yeah, make it yours. If it doesn't work out, make it yours.
Yeah, I love it. Absolutely. Just create it. It's okay. And then look, now you're able to share it with all these different women and really help propel them and up level them to their next, to their success.
However they want to use it, you figure it out how you want to, because it has like your dreams, your wishes, your, oh God, there's so much stuff in the planner. I always forget, it gets pretty big if you really print it all out at once, but it takes you on a journey, that's for sure. It takes you through the whole journey.
Awesome. It'd be a great time capsule too, because you're writing all this stuff out, because planners, when you're done, you're like, okay, good, check, next one. But this can really help you see your success grow, and the very creative way that you made it. So people could keep it actually, and they go, look, this is what I did. This is how I started. And what a great thing that you created. I love it.
Thank you. And you bring up a great point. One suggestion was from one of the women I was talking to, because she always likes, or she does it for herself. So I added it to the planner. At the end of every month, there is a page. It says, what did I learn this month? So maybe it was a new tech chip, or maybe it was a new way to do business or something. So you can have that, and you can continue to build like this binder, like you say, of all these tips that you've learned every month as you go forward.
I love it. That is very cool. Share with us where people can find that. I did not put that up as a thing, so just share with us where we can get that.
So you can find it on Etsy. So it's on my Etsy shop, and you can look up the Ultimate Business Planner for Women. Okay. Or Hell of a Planner, HELLUVA planner on there, and it should pop up with my pretty pink things, and it's not expensive. Like I said, it's a download, so you just download it, and it goes all the way through. Actually, I have it through, I know we're already in July, but it goes through March of 2021.
Very cool. And if not, people can email you at capricemarie.com, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome. And then another way people can find you is on your LinkedIn.
Yep, I'm big on LinkedIn these days, believe it or not. I went back to LinkedIn. It's a great place. Or I'm on Facebook too. You can always find me under Caprice Del Cira at Facebook. Okay. I do have a new Facebook group. Is that okay to mention that? So I have something called it's called Hell of a Crowd, successful something for the rest of it. Look up Hell of a Crowd. It's for successful women, something, or serious women who want to be successful, or something along those lines. Like, I can't remember my tagline for my own Facebook group, but look up Hell of a Crowd, HELLUVACROWD on Facebook, and you should be able to find me in the groups too. I'd love, any women who want to come on. It's a great group. I'm going to boast about it a little bit, but the group is more about, it's not, I'm kind of trying to go away from the norms. It's really about connecting with one another, not getting lost in the crowd, sharing things. Like, I really want the conversation to happen there that I think is getting lost in some of the groups. So it's really just about that true connection, having the conversations, helping each other, a place for resources, because we have all different types of women in their business in there. So if anybody wants to kind of come check it out and hang with us there, we'd love to have you.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, I have absolutely loved having you here. And if anybody's coming on after this, if you go to Facebook, Aphrodite Enterprises, Inc., you can still pop in questions. Caprice and I will pop through and check them out, and we will respond to them. So you can still get your questions answered, which is a wonderful thing that we can do with streaming live and having it leaked into Facebook. That's pretty cool. And I want to thank you so much, Caprice. You have been absolutely so informative and amazing. And I just love you. I think you're amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate your time and allowing me to share my story. And this is so much fun to do. So yeah, if anybody has any questions, I love answering the questions. I'm kind of a geek about that. So you got business questions, anything like that, shoot them out. We'd be happy to answer them.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.